Welcome back to another episode of Playbook of the Wealthy. My name is Dave Grant. My co-host is Heather Townsend. Today we're talking about designing the optimal retirement income stream. If you have not been to our podcast before, we split our podcast into a number of sections. We talk about content, we then take questions, and then we talk about things that are personal to us or professional in our business. And you get to learn about us a little bit better. Without further ado, let's dive in. All right, Heather, when I talk to people about their portfolio not running out, how do they turn it into an income stream? The question that drives all of that is, do I have enough?
Yes, absolutely.
So kind of take us through a little bit of your thinking of when that question gets thrown at you.
Well, I agree with you how you started out this podcast episode. Number one, people always wonder, all right, I've accumulated all this money, but then how do I live off of it?
Mm-hmm.
And you used this word once before. It is kind of like magic. It's our magic. It's like a little fairy dust. But yes, do you have enough? Let's just start with the 4% rule right away. I mean, we go into a lot more detail than that, but I think for our listeners to first understand it, you need to know, what do you want to live off a month or annually? And what I have found with most of clients when they come in the door, especially if they're younger, they don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know. So it's like, well, if you don't know if you have enough. Now, I bet closer to retirement, retirees, they know. They know what number. They're like, I want 10, I want 15, I want 20, right?
You would think.
Oh!
So when I have people come into my office and they're close to retirement and they will say, okay, we're getting there, we're getting close. And I ask that question, how much do you need? Some of them know, some of them are still no clearer. And it becomes, okay, well, what do you want to do? And that's when that ball starts rolling and they start to understand, well, this is going to cost X, this is going to cost Y, maybe this is how much I need per month.
You know, it's interesting. I'm just going to give this example because people learn from examples. I actually have a client right now where they started earlier. We've now probably worked together 3 or 4 years. And now we're hoping to be 5 years away from retirement. So I'm like, we really need to solidify these numbers now. You guys, like, you want to move. They want to relocate. Mm-hmm. They want to be on an ocean. So this is going to be an expensive real estate move. So I'm like, we need to build this into the plan. I made them do the cash flow sheet, the retirement cash flow. I got the relocation in the plan, and it did change the numbers. And we do have to tweak a few things. Mm-hmm. But to go back to this of how do you know, you have to figure out if you have enough. And that starts with, what do you need per month? And then, of course, we make the annual number. Mm-hmm. And then we can back into, do you have enough?
Yeah. And I think most people have heard the magic of, okay, well, what's your retirement number? Like, there was commercials from Ing. It was like, what's your number? And people walking around with numbers or like over their heads. And then you've got the formula of, oh, it's 4% of that number. That's your safe withdrawal rate. You know, we get into the weeds of it. And that becomes the answer of, well, if I've got this amount in my portfolio and it's 4% of that and I can live off that a year, that's stage one.
That is the beginners. I'd say that's beginners level.
Yeah.
And it's not that simple. I mean, I will tell you, I can honestly say that my clients, none of them have a flat 4% withdrawal rate. Some of them might be at 3. Some of them might be at 6. It varies because it depends on some factors, right? How long are you going to live? How aggressive is your portfolio that you want it to be, right? If you're, 60% bonds, I don't have that with clients, but that would really change the withdrawal rate, right? If you don't have as much growth.
Yeah.
Or what's another one? Oh, I don't know. Social Security. When are you going to take that? Do you have pension income? I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into this.
You want me to throw in a Midwest thing here? What's your farm income?
Stop.
How much are you getting from the people who are...
Stop. Is this serious? You're serious?
100%. I have farmers as clients.
Farmer income?
Yeah. They're renting out their fields to farmers, and they get rent every year.
Wait. I'm not done with this. Mm-hmm. They rent out their fields, so they're not farming.
They could do if they wanted to.
But it's just rent income.
Yeah.
Oh, so renting out land-ish.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense.
They could farm it and sell the corn and the wheat and everything.
I guess they wouldn't then be retired, though. Okay, all right.
Anyway.
All right. The other thing I do is many of my clients, I do have that serious conversation with the ones nearing retirement is what are we going to do about long-term care?
Mm-hmm.
And for people that don't know what that is, that's, going into assisted living later in life in case you need, it sounds horrible, but it's the truth, right?
Yeah.
Like in case you need to go into assisted living or dementia care or, and what I have found is my clients actually choose to self-insure. They don't love having these insurance policies, but I do build in 2 years end of life, just higher medical expenses as a buffer for both of them.
Okay. So those people, once they've sat down and they realize, okay, this is what our retirement looks like, that's your first step. Because if you don't do that, nothing else works. Like you can't design anything appropriately.
If we don't know, you mean how much we're going to need?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. That is, I don't know how to develop a plan if I don't, I mean, I guess I could, unless they be like, it could go this way too. I've never had this happen though, because I'm more ideal, but I guess it could go, hey, I have 5 million. How much can I spend?
You reverse engineer it that way?
Yeah, but that's normally not how it goes. I normally go, how much do you need? And then back in to make it work, right?
Yeah. When you give people that open envelope of here's the amount of money you can spend, it never is that number. It's always more in reality.
Yeah.
Because then they spend more.
And I don't like telling clients what to do. I don't think that creates a very good dynamic. It's like, we're working on this together. We're a partnership.
Okay.
All right. So do you have enough? So let's say we've determined they have enough. Okay. Now we're moving on to step 2, your favorite, buckets. I think there might be my favorite, actually. I don't know. And risk tolerance. And when we're going to define buckets, when we talk about risk tolerance, that is how aggressive is your portfolio? You definitely should not probably be 100% stocks as a retiree. Let's just, right? Are you 50% stocks and 50% bonds? How aggressive is your portfolio and what makes you sleep at night the best? And then the buckets. All right, Dave.
Come closer. Let me tell you about buckets.
Buckets. I do love the buckets.
So you are going to divide your portfolio into 3 pieces. You're going to have cash for your living expenses. Depending on how aggressive or conservative you want to be, typically we say 1 to 2 years just in cash. The reason being is you've now got cash lined up for the next 12 to 24 months, and that means you actually don't care what the stock market does for the next 2 years because you've got it all in cash. Then you're going to take your next pot of money. This is going to be how much you need to live on each year, and you're going to times that by 3 or 5, and then you're going to put that in fixed income. So that's going to be bonds, CDs, and the like. So it's not going to be aggressive. It's not going to be in cash. It's going to be right in the middle. The rest of your portfolio, that gets aggressively invested in the stock market because that you're not going to touch for at least the next 7 years.
Okay, let's talk about that really quick.
Yeah.
What is your lowest amount of years you have in total of cash and bonds, would you say? Because that would be then the most aggressive client, right?
Yes. Now this is going to be because they've got other income coming in. I would say 2 years.
Whoa.
And
you broke your bucket rule.
I did. And that's because
Dave broke his.
Hold on.
Okay.
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
That's because they have the majority of their income coming from other sources.
Okay. Like it's stable. It's like a Social Security pension without sharing too much. Okay.
Yeah. So they don't need the cash buckets are for the other goals that they have, the fun things, the things that might just pop up. So they don't actually need it to live on as much.
Very, very different scenario.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if we're talking generic, probably 4 to 5 years between cash and fixed income.
I'd say I'm very similar. Some are 7 that's where risk tolerance is like, they need that peace of mind. They don't have a high risk tolerance, I guess would be the way to describe it. I also want to make clear cash, we're not keeping this in a cash bank account that earns 0.01% either. So if you are doing this, please be in a high yield savings. I have mine in money market accounts, but that's where the cash is. But why this works too, that I've found with my clients, is the buckets really, one, they can get it. They're like, I have 1 to 2 years of cash. So if the market falls, like I already can pay a year or 2 years of my living expenses. Like that peace of mind.
It's huge.
Like,
Yeah.
I've actually put myself, because, of course I'm working towards this too. I'm sure you are. Like, that would give me so much peace of mind for I will design mine just like this.
I think that design has taken the stress level down of every person I've worked with. And it's visible.
Well, and it's a calculated thing that they can easily understand. This also, like having these buckets, also, I do want to say, greatly, it does improve retirement probability of success.
Explain what that is. We don't do jargon here. We agreed on that.
I know, that's true.
We're bad at this.
Okay, well, that's a long explanation. Okay, but I won't say the term and define all the financial acronym of that. All I will say is it increases the likelihood that they won't run out of money.
Nice.
Okay? That was all right.
That was good.
Okay. We have created the buckets. We've determined how many years they need in cash and fixed income equaling bonds. And we now know the risk tolerance. So, okay, are we going 60-40, 70-30? That kind of, I think the buckets actually is the risk tolerance. It's like, no, I want 7 years. No, I need 5 years, right? I feel like that also comes. That's how I do the risk tolerance.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have that. Now we get to the most tax advantaged withdrawal strategy. And where are we building those buckets? That's the other part. What accounts are we putting these buckets?
Come on, tax girl. Take it away.
You want me to take it away?
Yeah, go on.
We normally, you've already heard us talk, we are targeting 22% tax bracket at the most, I would say, for most of my clients. And I know we differ in this, which we're probably going to get to, but a lot of my clients actually have all three or at least two. They are not really heavy, all in pre-tax IRAs or 401ks where if they pull from it, they're going to pay ordinary income tax. We have, brokerage accounts where we'll pay capital gains tax, or we'll have some Roth where we pay no tax if we pull from. We have HSAs where if we pull from medical expenses, we pay no tax. And, some of my retirees are in their 50s, so they're very far from the RMD age where you are required to take a distribution from your pre-tax investment accounts. It's like 73, about to be 75, I think now. I, right now, am to keep figuring out where's that 22% tax bracket. I also watch, I don't want them to jump into net investment tax where you're, taxed 3.8% on any investment income. So don't want to jump that. And I'm like, I don't want these IRA balances to get too high, the pre-tax, and then we're going to have to take this huge RMD. So I am pulling a little bit from there, a little bit from the brokerage for capital gains. I normally let the Roth ride when it's young, when they're young though, because I want that in case tax rates increase, because they are relatively low in the history of the US. I want to have the Roth as my secret weapon. That's but so I pick how much I'm taking from each account and kind of crafting my.
I'm very similar. Like if people are having 2 years of cash, I'm explaining to them in the best way I can without getting too complex of you have zero income right now. You're just living on cash. If you filed a tax return tomorrow, it would likely read close to $0 that you earned or that you had to pay taxes on. That is not the way to go about this. We need to create some income because there's things built in the tax code which gives you like cash back, like a standard deduction, personal exemption. All
Great
those things
example.
gives you money back if you start to reach those limits and don't go too high. So that's when we're taking money out the IRAs. Just like you said, we're trying to get that money out the IRA and pay the least amount of taxes we can before you're forced to take the money out later.
So I have a plan of how much I'm taking from what account. And then I'm also running tax projections every quarter, weirdly enough, because what I'm running into, especially in the last 3 years, I mean, we've had double-digit returns, I think, almost every year, haven't we? I think even 2023 was double-digit in the U.S. stock market. That I'm running into capital gains where I'm like, oh, I projected this much of capital gains, but everything has triple-digit returns now. And I'm like, okay, I have to really monitor.
Yeah. It comes down to, okay, maybe we can't take as much out the IRA as we thought because if we take some capital gains, it's
higher now.
We're paying more, which is a good problem. Things are growing.
Yes, it's a great
We don't want to
problem.
make the opposite happen.
Yeah.
where it doesn't grow and it goes negative. Well, what about dividends and interest?
Oh, I
Just want to trigger you.
okay. I am going to warn our listeners that there will be, Heather will have a very heated, I'll try not to be too heated, but a podcast episode to explain why that really does not work. It's really bad from a tax perspective too, by the way. So no, that is not a good strategy. That is a podcast episode in itself, but no, that is not how you run a portfolio income strategy.
I have had people walk in my office who are saying, I'm building my own portfolio where I can live off the dividends and interest. I'm like, cool. Wait till it blows up because I won't design it that way.
Well,
as soon as those positions stop triggering dividends and interest, what are you doing then?
That's the problem. And you know what they do? They then go into riskier positions and they chase yield, basically how much dividends are going to be paid off. They're choosing companies or investments or, bonds, whatever, for the interest based on what the yield is, what it's going to give you versus, is this a good investment or not? Dangerous.
Yeah.
And it is bad from a tax perspective. So the tax drag is really high. So I can't wait to do that episode. But so no, that's not how we design it. Dave and I are selling, we are taking some growth off the table. Now, I will say in my clients' brokerage accounts, though, I don't reinvest the dividends because we've already paid the taxes on the dividends. It got paid out.
Okay.
So I actually let them accumulate so I don't sell as much capital gains.
So I don't do that.
Okay, interesting.
I typically just let everything reinvest. Again, most of the time I'm more aggressive on that when there's a lot of other income sources because I might not be selling anything in the brokerage account that year. So I don't want to hamper any growth going on and just let cash build up.
That I would agree. These are pretty much most of my retirees are using the brokerage in some capacity in their retirement income. So I'm like, sell or it's already paying off. If it was just let it ride, I would reinvest.
And I think there's people in either camp because I've got some clients who do use their brokerage account for monthly income. And so we've queued up a whole year of cash. And then I've got bond positions in there. And so I'm like, well, I'm touching those next. I'm still going to reinvest and let the dividends get reinvested and let that ride because I'm not touching those for a long time. It's all about the design and it changes per person.
Yes, but that's why I think this is a great example because I'm like, oh, that's interesting. A lot of my clients' brokerage accounts, and again, listeners, that's the non-retirement account. It's just a regular investment account. I don't have very many dividends or bonds in there. The bonds are in the IRAs by the way I've designed it, right? Mm-hmm. So it's really fascinating. It's like it so depends on the clients and what's going on. And we've already figured out. So Dave's clients are heavy in pre-tax. Heather's clients are not that heavy in pre-tax. Like, it's kind of funny. I don't know why this happens, but we differ in the type of clients that come through our door and where their money is and what account.
And I think it's interesting because people will come in and say, oh, retirement income design, that's easy. I'll just build this like that. I would say for most of my clients, it is different from most clients.
Yes, agreed. Okay. This one I'm really passionate about, and I think you are too. There is something about when you're retired and you're living off your portfolio, to have it go into your bank account every month, or fine, every quarter too, but every month seems to be what's best for my clients because it holds them accountable to be like, hey, is this enough that I need for my portfolio? Or do I need more? Do I need less? Whatever. Normally it's never less. So
I've had one person say that, like, you're giving me too much. I'm like,
that's crazy.
Okay.
But it makes them feel like they have this steady paycheck. I do have one client whose risk tolerance is very, very low. They were actually all in bonds when they started working with me, and they have a year or two of cash altogether. They need it to feel secure, and I'm fine with that. But I do notice that I don't think they spend it all.
Okay.
Because it's just this 1 year lump sum, right? Whereas if you're getting this paycheck and it's like, hey, I want you to spend this monthly, it's a different feeling.
I agree. I don't think I have anyone taking it on a quarterly or annual basis. Everyone gets it monthly. I think a lot of that is how life is designed too. Like, a lot of people have monthly expenses just drafted out their bank account. And so it's just natural. Get the money in like you have been for the last 40 years working. And it's that easy transition of, okay, this is my retirement paycheck now versus my working paycheck. It takes a mental strain off retiring.
I also like it because when we have, we have buffers built in. It's like, oh, now that the house needs landscaping unexpectedly, or the house needs, some new roof, or the AC. It's like, we know why we took more out of the portfolio because it's that extra distribution that we see. So do I get to do my bow?
You do. It's bow time.
Okay. So here's the bow. I would say, and I normally don't say this a lot, but this is one area where I would say you need to hire a professional for this. Mm-hmm. Fine if you can't afford it ongoing or whatever, even though I don't know if I agree with that because of market corrections and all of that and how you react. But I think this is one with retirees, you really need to hire a professional at this point. I don't know how else to say it. There's just
you got one shot here. Do it right.
Okay.
You're not going back to work.
Okay. I thought you were talking to me about my bow, like I had to redo it. But no. Okay. Yes, I agree. Know how much you need monthly. If you don't know that number, you could easily run out of money, or worst case could be like not spending enough. So don't do that. Build your buckets for peace of mind. Have yourself paid monthly. Revisit annually. Go and live your best life. Boom, boom, boom.
Bow complete.
Bow complete.
All right, we're moving into our next section. This is called What Would You Do? Question number 1. We're told to focus on getting to a number in our portfolio, and then we're ready to retire. Does that not work anymore?
Ish. I will say that my clients like a number. I even give myself a number. Like I do the 4% rule, back into it. So, if you want to live off $400,000 a year, that's $10 million, right? So I think it's helpful. I do think it's helpful, especially because if you're not working with a financial advisor, how do you know if you're getting closer when you need to hire someone to be like, okay, I'm kind of nearing this, but I want to make sure I did this correctly. But I will say when we are designing this, I am not focusing on a number. I mean, I'm using the number, but I'm using a lot more other inputs like longevity, what other income sources, what you want to spend. And so I don't think it's just a number. It's a starting point.
Like you said, it's a nice goalpost to get to, but that's when the real work starts.
Question 2, what does a retirement income look like when the market goes down for a long time or we go into a recession? Oh, that's a good question. Valid.
For people who have not designed this well, it's going to look really bad.
And what they could do I'm also thinking like what you could do while it's going on and you start panicking too.
So this is why we build buckets. Like this is why we have a huge cash buffer. And then outside the buffer, we've got non-volatile investments. And then we've got the equities. Like you have so much insulation from whatever the market can do.
Oh, I like that word, insulation.
If the market goes down for a long time, you don't care. If we're into a recession, it might make you a little nervous, but you've got essentially like 5 years of living expenses lined up before you even need to touch equities that may have gone down. So if you've designed it well, it shouldn't really worry you too much.
No. And there's opportunity there too. Like we might be tax loss harvesting where we're, taking paper losses, selling stocks at a loss and rebuying and rebalancing. That kind of, I hate to use this word, but it juices your portfolio in a way, right? And there's a lot of opportunity in these times. I actually count on it happening with my retirees. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's when I'll take advantage of that, which will then help on the next, there's opportunity in both times.
There is.
Yeah. So I wouldn't fear it. You just need to have it designed right.
Question number 3. If I plan to take Social Security at the latest possible age, which is age 70, does my retirement income design change?
It could. This is where the plan comes in. If you were assuming in your plan that you were going to take Social Security at 66 and now you're going to wait to 70, that would change it. That would probably materially change it because I've run those scenarios for clients.
Yeah.
So it could absolutely change and I would have it rerun.
Yeah. That's going to be a lot more money in cash if you decide to take it later because you're going to need to live off your portfolio a lot longer. But then the flip side, when you get to 70, that Social Security benefit's going to be higher. You're going to need your portfolio less. And yeah, you kind of need to have these lines in the sand of, okay, Social Security is going to happen at this age. And so we're going to design your portfolio this way. And unless there's anything huge that comes along that's going to swing that, I think you stick to the plan.
And this decision comes into when to take Social Security. I'll simplify it for people. Most of the time, it's based on how long you think you're going to live.
All right, if you wanted to know about us personally or professionally, you get to know now because we're going into our section called Highlights. We had a family dinner recently, and I'm going to call you out, Neil Grant. That's my dad.
Oh, okay.
He was at the dinner table and he's like, I've not subscribed to your YouTube channel. And it was like a knife, dagger in the heart. I'm like, why? He's like, I don't want to spend the money. And that was like a palm forehead moment. I'm like,
how much does he think YouTube is too?
Like, Dad, it's free. Every platform's free. Like, you can follow the podcast for free. You can subscribe on YouTube. You could follow any social media channel and it's free. He's like, oh, I'll do it now. I don't know if he's done it, but just in case you're wondering, everything is free. We don't charge a thing here. You'll find out if we do. But no, YouTube's free. Everything's free.
That's really adorable and really funny.
That was a boomer moment for him.
That was funny.
All right, what about you?
Well, I just had a campaign launch party. I announced it for one of my clients. They're running for City Council of Scottsdale, and I'm their treasurer on their campaign. I know. And it was...
You can go on a tour bus?
Not yet.
Okay.
I hope there's parts of that. But it was really fun. First of all, I've met the husband who's running in person before to work on campaign stuff, but the wife never in person, and I got to meet her. Mm-hmm. And she was saying the nicest things to me about her neighbors. And I got to hear funny stories like, oh, we interviewed another advisor before you, and within 5 minutes, we said no and we're trying to walk out the room. Like, stuff that you just don't get to hear, probably on a Zoom call but just how they're like talking to their friends around you. And they were like, yeah, and don't tell Heather what you want to do because she's going to keep asking you if you've done the goal, if you've done the thing. And I don't know, it was just really fun. And at this campaign launch party was someone running for Congress. I'm like, who am I? This is surreal right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's a different crowd. Like,
I was going to say, you're changing your circles, aren't you?
Yes. Like, I'm not part of a political crowd, and here I go. And then you'll love this. I'll end this. But my client, day of, goes, oh, also, I'm going to have you speak at the end after the former and current council members speak. And him. And then I had to follow at the end. Okay, that's my highlight.
Good. Wow.
I think I nailed it. Thank gosh. But yes, that's my highlight. I have no idea where this is going or where it's going to take me, but I am learning a lot, and it's fun.
So episode 200 is going to be the governor's mansion in Arizona.
I mean, I wouldn't be upset about that.
If this is not your first time here, you realize that we are almost at the end of our episode. So that means we need something from you. That's going to be a like, comment, subscribe if you haven't done already on YouTube. It costs $7,000 according to my dad. And follow us on our podcast platforms. If this is your first time here, you got nothing to do. Sit back, relax, and hopefully we'll see you on another episode. All right, thank you for listening to this episode of Playbook of the Wealthy. You can find us on whichever platform you listen to your podcasts. If you want to watch us in video, we are on YouTube, Spotify, LinkedIn, Instagram. Heather's going to post more, so go follow her on Instagram. And if you want to email us, first go to our website, playbookotw.com, and then you can shoot us a message at hello@playbookotw.com. And we'll see you next time.
Toodles!
All opinions expressed by Dave Grant and Heather Townsend are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the views of their respective wealth management firms. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Nothing in this material constitutes a solicitation for the sale or purchase of any securities. Clients of Retirement Matters and Townsend Financial may maintain positions in the securities discussed in this podcast.